So in the last video, I was talking about how that, various interests come and go, and how that sometimes they kind of seem to choose us, if you will, and sort of different levels of obsession and whatever. Well, one of the things that I became obsessed with was camping, and the reason I became obsessed with it, or kind of what led into it, was I got an SUV and discovered it could tow quite a bit, and so I bought a trailer that I could outfit as a camping trailer, and that was sort of the, and then I bought a bunch of camping gear because I had this camping obsession, if you will. Now, I had some very good reasons, if you, per se, you could say, for why camping should be a great idea. Number one, of course, fun memories with the family. Number two, inexpensive vacations, if you will. And number three, this was somewhat soon after we moved into the city, and so, getting out of the city into the country sounded really nice too. So, those were, some of the background items for the camping obsession. There's something that can happen the first time you do something that is kind of magical that you may never quite be able to recapture, which is kind of sad maybe, but can be the way it is. And so I think this wasn't the first time I'd gone camping. I'd gone camping with my family growing up, and with my friends. So it wasn't the first time camping, but the first time really for our family to go camping really in any kind of serious way. I had my. I'm trying to remember now whether. I do believe it was after I got the trailer, but now I can't quite remember. Maybe this was the camping before we got the trailer, but I think it was. I think I had the trailer already. Yes, I believe I did. And anyway, so we were going to go camping. So there's this cool app called HipCamp, which is kind of like the Airbnb for campsites. And so I found this site and booked it, or this place and booked it. And so we weren't really able to get a hold of the host, and at least communication was pretty spotty. And so we actually got there, and it was getting, it wasn't dark yet, but we weren't like hours and hours away from dark necessarily, or from sundown. And the host was like, yeah, you can't come. It's too muddy in here. You can't come camping here. So we're like, oh, man. Here we're all packed up and, all dressed up and nowhere to go. And so I called one of my friends / acquaintances or friends from the past, and, was like, hey, could we, I knew they had some land kind of close by, and I was like, could we go camping on there? And he didn't respond right away, and was like, oh boy. But then he did, and he was like, sure, basically he was like, yeah, that's not a problem. And so we went over there and we set up camp, and then I think it was really, really tall grassy, so I think I went back home and maybe even got a weed eater, push mower or something, I think, to help knock down some grass. But anyway, it was, we got there in time. We could set up, I think, mostly before dark. Well, yeah, maybe partly before dark. I'm not sure on that. But that was so much fun. It wasn't perfect. I think we might have been cold during the night, but the weather overall was beautiful. We were out there camping, first time with our family basically, and some of our camping gear was completely new, and we're giving it a go. And it was just, after being kind of like, oh boy, this thing might like totally not work. Like, we might be totally out of luck for a campsite, to then have something come through and it have to work and the weather be so nice. It was fantastic, really. It was fantastic. And so I don't know, if we've ever had quite as much fun camping, or quite that same, feeling of like, this is so sweet, as we did that first time. Although, to be fair, I mean, we've had some pretty fun camping since then, but so anyway, obsessions come, obsessions go. The thing about camping, with that style of camping, tent camping. Like, we still like to be pretty comfortable while we camp. So, we're taking a lot of stuff. We've got 6 kids. It's a major operation too. And the theory was that, with the trailer and everything set up, big totes to store camping gear and whatever, like it shouldn't be too bad to pack. But it seems like it always kind of was too bad. Like it took a lot of work. And then quite a bit of work. And then while you're there camping, and then it's also a lot of work. So you're setting up the tent, you're building a fire, you're cooking, and so, sometimes we get back from a weekend of camping and it's like, yeah, well, I mean, like I had maybe a couple hours one afternoon that I had relaxation time, and otherwise, basically, I was just like working the entire camping time almost, and so like it kind of felt good, right? Like you get out in the sunshine, the fresh air, and you work hard. So in a way, it was physically refreshing, but it was also kind of physically draining because of just how hard you'd work. And so it wasn't. So just the sheer amount of work, I think, kind of gives me pause, and my obsession also, if you will, has I say died. It has definitely subsided. Like I think with this fall weather kind of rolling back in here to some extent, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, it'd be nice to get. It would kind of have some appeal to go camping. But, I have to think about it a little bit to make sure I'm ready to commit and put the effort in for that. So, and I think too it makes a difference too, like how much other stuff is going on in life. If we're feeling, like our cups are full and we've got the bandwidth to go camping, or if we're already a little stressed or strained, adding camping to the list is probably not the first thing we're going to do. So, but yeah, we have made we've had some fun times camping as a family, and probably need to get back into it and do it some more.